I've had the luxury of being friends with Sergio for a while, and I've also taken lessons from you, and I have learned much about how to paint miniatures from you. I feel like for many of us out there, you know, the idea of trying to win gold at a painting competition is probably one of the things in us that we just would love to, like a pipe dream about winning something, winning gold, people saying, hey, this guy is good. And I think we all kind of have that feeling that we would like to be there. And obviously that's a journey that's quite tricky because you really need to invest a lot of time and energy into perfecting and becoming better, and also a sort of sense of confidence, because like I've been painting for a little while, but I have never really gone into competition because there's a lot on the line. I think maybe it's like an ego or as yourself, like you are putting your time, your energy into this model, trying to make it special, trying to impress people. And then when you do it, the fear that, A, it's no good, it's actually rubbish in front of, you know, like of other people. And that can be disheartening and painful and difficult. I'm actually quite scared to try it and go into a competition like that. Obviously, there are these phenomenal painters out there, like yourself, which is terrifying. And then there's, you know, all these other people who people have seen before on Instagram or on social media or on like YouTube and things. And, you know, they've been painting their entire lives practically. And to go up against that is daunting. Does that pressure, do you feel that pressure, or do you just paint because you love to paint? Do you have a feeling about that?
Okay, the truth is always the competition, all of they are really tough. It's true that there are incredible painters around the world, everybody with a really unique style. In Golden Demon, maybe you will find really master painters, all of they. So you have to compete with maybe 10 or 15 pieces that all of they are incredible. So what happened? That in these cases, it's so tough to choose one. The best way to choose one, for sure, we can say that technically should be better, or because artistically they're trying to represent something more interesting for someone, the judges or the viewers or internet or wherever. But what happened? That in my taste, or for me, thinking about this kind of competitions, the best question that you have to ask to yourself is which one you want to pick to your home. Because for sure your taste is the final decision. If someone say that is wrong, they are trying to lie you. Why? Because maybe you love orcs and maybe you saw an incredible orc that this miniature stole your heart and you need it, you need a miniature and you don't care Space Marines, you don't like them. So you will decide that this orc is way better for you. So what happened? That always when I'm painting for myself. But it's true that when I'm in the competition, I'm really, really nervous.
Oh yeah?
Because I understand that everybody try to do their best. So what happened in that cases? That always you will see really unique styles. So it's so tough for the judges decide which one is the best.
I guess the question would be is like, how did you, maybe not how you start, but how do you feel when you're going into these things? Obviously there's like you've been doing it for a while, but like how do you approach that? Or how did you approach it when you were starting out?
Maybe I started like, I don't know, 14 years ago. So my first time that I was in a Golden Demon, I was 19 years old.
Oh, okay.
Was my first time, was in Spain. I think was the last Golden Demon in Spain. I can't remember exactly the year. So in this one was my first time that I put my miniature inside of a painting competition. I've discovered what means being with the biggest or the most successful or incredible painters, in that case from my country, inside probably one of the hardest category, single miniature, always. Single miniature for 40K or fantasy in that moment, both were the most difficult miniatures because everybody have a lot of time to paint one miniature, but maybe not to paint a diorama, not to paint bigger scales. So I've decided, like everybody, paint a tiny orc. I remember it was a musician orc, came in from a Savage orc that they released.
Okay.
So I love that characters. I tried to paint as best, but I was following some rules that I understood that were the correct rules that I have to use.
Okay.
So I was trying to paint desaturated. I tried to paint smooth. I tried to paint more with the airbrush. What happened? that miniature I can't recognize as mine.
Really?
I remember that in this contest, I present two miniatures, one for single 40K and the other one for fantasy. The fantasy, I was following what I heard that should be the correct way to do it. And I won. I won bronze. It was the first time that I won a golden demon. I won bronze.
So following the rules got you bronze.
Following the rules that some people told me that I have to use.
Follow the rules.
But it's true that the other miniature, it's really special miniature to me because I painted an orc knob, which one I painted with my own style, full color, and everybody said it's awful. You can't paint with that kind of colors. But I've discovered that that orc was the style that I would like it. And I continue painting in this style. And you can recognize an orc knob that I painted a few years ago in the same way. How was the beginning of my career and how I'm painting now. The difference with this, it's like if you follow the rules, probably you will get the award. But for me, doesn't mean anything. Just I want something that for me was like, okay, I want a piece of plastic, like an award, but the style is not mine. It's like following some rules that I didn't decide it. I didn't create anything on this. I just followed the steps. So what happened? That I've discovered in this moment, really young, that I would like to create something unique with my style and try to create my own rules. And that's what I'm creating. I don't care what the people will think about my artworks because I've discovered that in the past, I feel really I suffer a lot with the opinion of other people. Their opinion was different than mine. So doesn't mean that I did something wrong. Means that probably for that people, is that something that they don't like it. It's like watching a movie. Maybe you don't like the superheroes, but other people like them. So it doesn't mean that it's wrong or not. Try to paint for yourself always. Try to understand that this is your hobby and you have to have fun with everything that you do. Maybe it could look like super poetic, like, okay, you're telling me that I have to paint for myself, Sergio. Yes, you have to. And maybe you have to put more effort, more time, more hours. I won 2 golden demons this time in 2 of the 3 categories that I presented my models. And all of them were really tough. I've seen really unique styles for people. I've seen really hard models to compete with them. And at the same time, I feel really proud what I did with this one. I spent 3 months working 8 hours per day on my orc for the open category. So that means that for sure, if you spend 10 hours on your model, probably you have to spend a bit more. I don't want to say that you have to spend 3 months for sure. I'm not talking about this, but probably what you need to do is try to paint to yourself and try to polish a bit more your style. And maybe at the end, you will have something like me, a really unique style, like everybody will recognize. When I was in Adepticon, I was kidding everybody because so fun. Everybody asked me about my orc, or they said, I've seen your orc, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And I said, what orc? I didn't bring an orc. It's like, it's yours. It's like, no way, I didn't. It's like, I recognize your style, it's yours. Nobody else can paint in this way. It was so funny because many people told the same. And I didn't post on social media. I want to see to myself if really I have a really unique style and everybody can recognize my artworks. So what I did, it's trying to put more energy to create something for myself. And this is what I try to promote here in this video. Like you have to paint to yourself, but for sure, trying to do your best. So maybe now you can get a golden demon, but you don't have to. Just continue painting, continue working hard to get something that for you is a successful or is an award for you. That's what you have to do. And try to remove the stress that the contest give you. For me, it's a really stressful moment, really. And probably, if you have seen my videos on the ceremony, you will see like I was really, really nervous. So I could be one of the best in the world, or maybe not for you, but I continue feeling the same feelings. Like you, if you're a beginner, I will feel exactly the same. So try to remove the ego or try to remove the stress when you are painting and try to have fun the whole process. If you have to paint 1 week, it's 1 week, but if you have to spend a month, just spend a month having fun all this month. Don't thinking about the contest and thinking that the judges or thinking about the rules or thinking that something outside of you will be the key for your successful or not. Try to paint for yourself and have fun with all the process.
Cool. Well, at least, thank goodness, Sergio is still human and he actually has feelings and is scared about doing competitions and things like that.
It's true.
Yeah. So you talk about like style and creating your unique style. And I think people would love to make their own unique style, but I think a lot of people are scared of their own style, or they are beginning. And so they're not open to interpreting their own, like their expression of themselves. They are still, I think, perhaps learning still from, like from YouTube and other things, and gaining the technical understanding. Because I feel like to truly express yourself as an artist, there is a technical proficiency that you kind of need to be at. I don't want to say that like absolutely, but you need to be competent or be able to paint or understand what you're working with before you can kind of really develop a style. Do you think that's true? Or do you think you can just go for it and it doesn't matter about like some of the important fundamentals?
It's really hard to answer that question because I think we have two different ways. The first one is miniature painter.
Okay.
So if you want to be a miniature painter, maybe you have to follow some rules. But if we are talking about art, maybe you have a completely freedom way to paint. So it's something that you have to choose. Choose one or choose the other one. What I try to do with my artworks, it's like a mix between both. So I try to express a lot of things with my art, with my colors, with the shapes, with the materials that I represent. But at the same time, I don't forget that I'm painting miniatures. So with this, I want to say that some people start to talk about that. I'm painting 2D. No. I'm painting with some references like the illustration, but translated to a miniature. If you try to paint a canvas on your miniature, at the end, one view will be incredible, but the rest of the areas will look black, flat, like you didn't work on that. So this is interesting because what I did, it's a mix between arts and miniature painter. I think there is my key.
Okay.
So if you want to find your way, your art, your style, probably if you're at the beginning of your journey, you can't. Maybe you have to learn more, practice more, and for sure, paint more miniatures. Because some people want to get the best quality, only painted 10 miniatures, and it's not possible. So I started painting miniatures with 12 or 11 with my friends. So I painted as hobby, I painted really bad, I painted with dry brushing, yes. I have to say, I've painted dry brushing in my past.
Says you know.
Yeah, it's true, I did it.
He's berated me for dry brushing at all. He found a dry brush, he broke it with his knee.
I did it. I did it. I want to share it in one moment. I thought that this one would be the best way to do it. Yes, I did it. So I started having fun with my friends. Then I stopped painting and I continued painting after, I don't know, from 16, I continued painting again. And with 18, I started painting as professional, we can say, painting armies. And I've painted like kind of washes that we designed there that I will explain in other videos because it's something interesting, because that's the other reason why I don't like too much the washes. It's like, it's part of my past, it's part of the process, and I've seen that it's so limited. That's why we like to find other ways to paint and explore other areas, like more artistic areas. With this, I don't want to say that painting miniature just correctly, it's wrong. It's like, as I said, you have two ways to work. The first one, more artistic, and the other one, more technically correct.
Hopefully, you guys are going to see that Sergio has a really unique, special style about how he paints miniatures. Lots of colors, lots of nuances and variations, and he really makes the miniature like just... It's really impressive. There are certain models of yours that I've saw on Instagram. I was just like, what on earth? This is crazy. And immediately I was a fan. I was immediately a fan. And even if you're a bit difficult, but I'm a fan. And so if you are interested in learning from one of the very best painters out there, someone who's won obviously awards, has been painting for many, many years, you can check out all of Sergio's stuff on practically any social media platform that is out there, you know, it be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that kind of stuff, but especially YouTube. And if you want the real, like, intensive understanding about how he creates what he creates, you then sign up to his Patreon, which is a complete library of some of the very best miniatures that we have seen on his Instagram stuff, and you can get full detailed videos, him explaining theory, practical understanding of things. And so that's one of the cool things about modern day. You know, we get the chance as just people who are interested in the field and in the hobby to watch the masters, kind of. And I think that's a really cool thing. I've learned lots from you, from your videos, and I've learned lots from you in person. And we can't all meet you in person because you're floating about the world, doing your painting and winning competitions and stuff like that. But the next best thing is the internet, you know? So if you guys are interested in that or interested in learning more, you know where to go. Check it out, sign up, do the thing, become better, or not, and just check out amazing work. And that's cool too.